Hey there, lovely viewers. Welcome back to Matt's World DIY. I'm Matt, and I've got a mouth-watering treat for you today. We're going to dive headfirst into the world of strawberries and cream with a wonderful treat called Strawberry Shortcake. Making this delightful dessert is actually easier than you think to make from scratch. Stay tuned till the end because I have a nice time-saving tip for you that I'm sure you will appreciate. I'm so hungry for this dessert right now. So without wasting any more time, let's get to it. To get things started, take 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of fresh strawberries and rinse them really well. From here, we're going to take the tops off, slice them up, and make a nice macerated strawberry mixture. So all we have to do is take and cut the tops off of your strawberries, then slice them up. You can cut them in half and then half again for a nice 1/4 of a strawberry. One of the reasons why I'm making this recipe for you today is because I was talking to a friend of mine and I was trying to brainstorm what would be a good video to put up on the channel next. And her son said, who is a big fan of strawberries, Strawberry Shortcake. And I was like, you know what? That is the perfect topic for my next video. So thank you for the suggestion. And if you have suggestions of what I should be putting up on the channel next, please feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me what you think might be a great idea. I know that fall is coming up, so do you have any recipe suggestions for me that might be very fall-like? Let me know in the comments below. To make these strawberries really pop and come to life, all we have to do is add 1/3 cup of granulated sugar to our quartered up strawberries and mix it until it's well combined. Then we'll put this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Now let's get started making these shortcakes. We want to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. It's going to make it nice and toasty for these delicious shortcakes. Then we can start getting our dry ingredients in our large bowl. I'm going to put 4 cups or 480 grams of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Whisk together all of your dry ingredients to get all of the ingredients well incorporated. There we go. Now let's get on to the wet ingredients. And I have a little trick for you there. Here's my little tip for you today. When measuring out all of your wet ingredients, use a large measuring cup, and that way you won't have to dirty up several different measuring cups all at the same time when you're putting it into a bowl. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of buttermilk, 1/4 cup of cream, 1 egg to the mix. Let's just do this. We want to mix it up really well. Okay, let's set this aside for a second. Now we're going to get to the fun part where we add our butter to our dry mixture. All right, I have 2 sticks or 1 cup of ice cold butter. These sticks are so super cold and nice and hard. You want to have nice solid butter for this. Now I just have to cube this butter up, cut the stick in half, and cut it in half again. Now all I have to do is slice it and we'll have our little cubes. Let's get this butter worked into the dry mixture now. So I'm just going to pour all of my butter cubes in at one time. Now I'm just fluffing up the dry mixture and coating each of the cubes until I have every cube nicely coated. I'm just squeezing each one of the cubes of butter and breaking them down. What you're going to want to end with is something the size of like almond size to little pebble size of butter after you finish this process. Okay, this looks great. You'll notice we have some chunks that are rather large and then some that is just really broken down. It makes the flour mixture a bit more sandy, and that's perfectly great. If you wanted to, and if you had to do something right now, maybe you could put this in the refrigerator to keep it cold. You really want to work with cold ingredients at this point. All right, I'm ready for my wet ingredients to go into my dry, but before I do that, I brought out my silicone mat and I want to use this as a surface to work my dough. Pour it all in at one time. Then I'm going to take my spatula and just run it around to get started with this, but you are going to get your hands dirty, so just an FYI. This is going to be a very shaggy dough. I'm flouring my surface just a little bit, then pour your dough mixture onto your surface. Now pull your dough together. Just pull it in from the sides. Right away, it might not want to cooperate, but just be persistent. You do want to work the dough enough so that it holds together. That looks pretty good. Now, again, I'm going to put just a little flour on top, dust my rolling pin, and roll this out to a 1-inch thickness. To cut these out, I have a bowl that I've placed some flour in, and I want to dust my biscuit cutter with the flour so it doesn't stick as I cut into the dough. When you're cutting into the dough, just cut straight down. If you cut and twist, you're going to seal the edges and your biscuit won't rise as well as if you just went straight down. So just go straight down and pull up, and here we have our first shortcake. It looks great. Look at the butter that's in the dough. This is going to make really nice fluffy layers. Before you put these in the oven, brush them with some cream over the top, and then we're going to sprinkle sugar over it to give it a nice little crust. Now we're ready for these to go into the oven. 425 degrees for 15 minutes. I don't believe you understand just how eager I am to eat one of these delicious strawberry shortcakes. They came out of the oven and I've let them cool. Select one of your delicious shortcakes and slice it in half. Then pile on some of these delicious macerated strawberries. I'm taking a little shortcut that I want you to know about today. So I could use my mixer and make some delicious homemade whipped cream pretty easily, pretty quickly. I'll put the recipe for that in the description below. But I told you, I'm so eager to get into this. I'm taking a shortcut today, and I'm going to use some whipped cream that's in a can. This stuff is still delicious. It's not quite like making your own, and I'm always an advocate for making your own, but I am in such a rush. I'm sorry. I'm going to use some of this out of the can. So, whoops, there's the top just fell off. I think this is okay. Finally, it's time to give this strawberry shortcake a try. The cake itself is not super sweet, which is great because the strawberries are pretty sweet. And then the balance of the cream and the tartness and sweetness of the berries, it's super delicious. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe. I hope you liked this video today. And if you did, give it a like and thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video today, don't forget to check out some of my other sweets and bakes I have on my Sweets and Bakes playlist. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna eat the rest of this right now. Oh my God, so good.